Okay, so I want to have a discussion on this video about the spoilers that came out back Monday about Dragon Ball Super episodes 95 through 98 and the authenticity or lack thereof of the supposed leaks. And what I'm going to do here is be very, very transparent with you guys, tell you everything that went on from my perspective and what I did, so we can come to a conclusion about what could be going on here, and so that you have a full understanding of the situation. So let's go back to Monday morning. The community as a whole got some supposed leaks from 2chan, which is a Japanese message board that often does put up legitimate leaks for Dragon Ball Super. These leaks came from an anonymous source, and they listed 5 episode titles and some brief summaries for these episodes. Now, the 5th and final episode title for 98 was undecided, but we did get a summary for the previous ones, starting with Dragon Ball Super episode 94. The majority of the information for episode 94 had already come out from last week's issue of Weekly Shonen Jump, but episodes 95 through 98 was brand new information from this random poster on 2chan. Now, usually the first week of every month, we have leaks come out from magazines from Japan, specifically 2 magazines. One is called New Type Magazine, the other is called Animedia. Now, in the future, I will be doing a much more thorough discussion and explanation on how these magazines work and what they actually do, but for now, just keep that information in your head. So every month, we usually get some kind of information from these magazines. Now, every month it does vary as far as what information we get, but usually the titles in both magazines match, but the summaries are usually different if they both have summaries. Again, it varies every month depending on what information they want to put out. And what usually happens is somebody in Japan gets an early copy and puts it out either on 2chan or some other place on the internet. Now, on Monday, June 5th, right around 1 p.m. Eastern, these leaked episode summaries had come out and were posted on 2chan, and immediately I was very skeptical. Just because somebody posts something on 2chan, an anonymous message board, does not mean that it's legitimate. So I thought, okay, I'm not going to cover this right away. I'm going to wait and gather some more information before I actually do a video covering it. So initially what I wanted to do was not upload my video until I got the actual evidence that these were real from the scans that somebody like Herms or somebody like Ken Zyro would translate for us. But in the meantime, Ken Zyro went ahead and translated these episode leaks and summaries for us so that we could at least know what was being said. Now again, this all happened right around Monday afternoon. I did not upload my video until 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 hours after I originally found out about these leaks. And what I spent most of the day doing is talking to a variety of people, double and triple checking to see if these leaks were going to be authentic or not. So I hesitated very, very much before uploading that video, and I did a lot of research, speaking to a lot of different people, including people in Asia, people in Australia. I spoke to Ken Zyro, some very intelligent people in our community, some people from Reddit, just really gathering as much information as I could to see what was going on. And most of us just presumed that this guy had a copy of one of the 2 magazines and was putting out the information. Now, what truly added legitimacy to these leaks was the fact that the vast majority of fake episode titles that we get are usually just random episodes that some jabroni kid in his basement makes up and puts it on the internet, and then most of us can pretty much spot that they're fake. It's kind of obvious in many cases, but these were different because with these episode titles, not only were there 5 episode summaries to come out, usually there's only 4. In this case, there was 5, but also this gentleman on 2chan listed animators and staffers that legitimately work on Dragon Ball Super. So he listed for the production staff actual real people that have worked on the show and are continuing to work on the show. Now, there's only a small handful of Dragon Ball fans that actually really focus in on the animators and on the writers, and so one could presume that the vast majority of the community doesn't really know that much about who actually is working on these shows behind the scenes. A lot of that information, while it's out there, isn't really something that we dissect too much. Most of us just watch the show, have fun, talk about the animation sometimes, but most of us don't actually look into who's writing it and things like that. So this fan of Dragon Ball who wrote these 2chan leaks obviously had a lot of knowledge about who works on the show, based on information from previous episodes that have come out. And what happened was, with episode 94, he listed on episode 94 summary that Toshio Yoshitaka wrote the episode. Now, to me, this was stunning information because somebody asked Toshio on Twitter and he responded, yes, he did write the episode. However, later on, we discovered, after I put my video up, that this information had already been out for a couple of weeks. So it could be possible that the 2chan guy got the information from that. But nonetheless, the fact that the dude had so much knowledge about the behind the scenes of Super made me feel a lot more comfortable about uploading the video. And while this was going on, before I actually made the video, I was talking to several different people, getting their thoughts and wondering if this was authentic or not. So at 10 p.m. Monday night, I went ahead and uploaded, and by that time there were already other channels that had already been covering these leaked episodes. So mine was a little bit late, but the reason why it was late is because I wanted to double and triple check. In fact, Ken Zyro told me that even Yanko Productions, who is one of the most knowledgeable people in our fandom when it comes to leaks and spoilers and kind of getting information, and he has all kinds of connections, even he thought it was real. And that to me was a major thing. But what happened the next morning would make things really strange. Herms translated the TV Guide preview for Super episodes 94, 95, and the 95 episode did not match with the leaked information. Now, understand that a lot of times episode titles are changed. You'll have a provisionary title, then you'll have a finalized title. So I just assumed that that was the case, and I uploaded a second video that morning explaining to people that it's probably not fake, it's just a title change. There are some small differences in between the two episodes. Some consider them major differences. I didn't think they were that different, but it still seemed pretty legit. Then things got even stranger. About 12 hours later, we got our hands on scans from New Type magazine and were shocked to find out that the titles for episodes 95 and 96 did not match the ones that were leaked out the previous day. However, what really got strange is that Dragon Ball Super episode 97 was completely spot on, with the exception of maybe one word. It even had the same kanji. Episode 97 was the same on both episodes. How could this guy, if he was faking leaks on 2chan, was he so lucky to have guessed that episode 97 would have that name and would air on that date? And in addition to that, he also nailed the fact that episode 98 would be in the magazine and had no title as of yet. And this is extra convincing because episode 98 is going to air before the next batch of monthlies come out. So this guy knows the schedule really freaking well. However, the summaries were not in New Type magazine. So we assumed that this 2chan guy, if he was being legit, may have had himself a copy of Animedia magazine, and that's where he got his information. So once again, I spent the majority of the day yesterday waiting, talking to people, and trying to figure out exactly what was going on, because we have a leak here where two things are correct and two titles are wrong. But the biggest red flag of them all was the fact that the staff that he had listed, even though they were legitimate people who worked on Dragon Ball Super, were not the same staff that would work on these episodes. New Type magazine had a vastly different list of staffers, animators, and writers working on Super. So that was very bizarre. So at this point, the people who I was talking to were very split. Half of them were very certain this was fake. The other half thought it was real and that we should wait for Animedia magazine to get confirmation. This guy from 2chan could not have faked these 2chan spoilers without having some kind of research done. He looked into animation supervisors, he looked into writers, he somehow perfectly predicted episode 97's title and the fact that there would be 5 episodes in New Type magazine. So maybe the guy got New Type magazine early, but the staff that he wrote did not match the one in New Type. So why would he change the staff? Again, very, very strange situation with very strange timing. So on June 7th at around 5 a.m., I received the scans for Animedia magazine, waiting to get some kind of confirmation, whether it be real or whether it be fake. I just wanted to know if it was true, and the Animedia magazine would tell us summaries. Well, to my surprise, something happened that has not happened since the Trunks arc. There was literally no coverage whatsoever of Dragon Ball Super in Animedia magazine at all. There was coverage of other anime, like Boruto for example, but there was literally nothing about Dragon Ball Super, not even titles, not summaries, not anything. So why would there not be anything? Well, perhaps Toei is attempting to hide the events of the upcoming episodes from us, the Dragon Ball community. Maybe they have something very, very big planned that they don't want us to know about. So a few hours later, Ken Ziro asked Dragon Ball Super writer Toshio Yoshitaka about episode 96 and asked if the report was true. And he flat out said that the information was not true. And again, people were split. Some people thought that he might just be saying that because he's working for Toei and wants to keep it a secret. Others think his credibility is too important to lie. I really don't know. I leave that up to you to decide. So, even though the leaks from Monday did correctly predict Dragon Ball Super episode 97, and it also successfully predicted that the Frieza versus the Assassin storyline was going to continue into episode 95, the titles for episodes 95, 96, and the staff list did not match, and we have a statement from Toshio Yoshitaka that it's fake. So what does this mean? What actually happened here? Well, if the 2chan guy did fake these leaks, this guy is an extremely crafty and very knowledgeable fan who actually did some actual research to screw around with us fans. It could be possible that he had a copy of New Type magazine, changed 2 titles, kept the last 2, made up some fake summaries, and put it on 2chan. That seems to be the most likely thing, but it's still very strange that he was able to predict that episode so accurately. Now, on my original Facebook post, I made a joke about how I'm thinking that Toei is going around screwing with fans. I'm thinking that Toei might be doing this on purpose. That was just a joke. That wasn't meant to be taken too seriously. However, Toei did do this before with Precure putting out fake 6 Rangers a few years ago, again, to kind of mess around with the fan base. I'm not saying they did it this time, but I'm saying that they have done it before. So this whole thing was most likely an elaborate hoax done to screw with all of us by a guy who's either very, very lucky or very cunning in what he did. By Tuesday, things got weird, but on Monday, people were very certain that this was the case, and I went ahead and waited, but I went ahead and put the video up because I was like, okay, I feel better about this, but now, going forward, what we need to do as a community, the content creators, as well as you guys and other people all over the web, is be really extra cautious. These leaks are now becoming more sophisticated, featuring information with actual staffers, and that's going to end up confusing and tricking even some of the more knowledgeable fans in our community. So we all need to keep one eye open on this. I personally am a little bit upset at myself because I did say that I was not going to upload the video unless I had the scans, and the next day I did do an update, but I still probably should have waited until I had the scans in my hand to do it, like I did a month ago with the Frieza leak. I thought the Frieza leak was going to be a fake, turned out to be real. When we got the scans, I did the video. This time, these leaks seemed very real, and then as the days went by, they seemed more and more fake. But they still had some pretty accurate stuff in them, which is why, if you're out there and you're wondering, is Frieza really going to Universe 4? What is Yamcha's involvement? And all these different rumors that have been going around for the past few days. As of right now, as of the recording of this video, we do not know what's going to happen in the coming weeks. Toei is definitely keeping this a secret, so it's kind of making it a little bit more exciting, in my opinion, to see where Dragon Ball Super goes. But if I was a betting man, I would say that by next Wednesday night, when we have the weekly Shonen Jump leak for Dragon Ball Super episode 96, I think then we will have our answer as far as what is and isn't real. That's my guess, though. As always, ladies and gentlemen, I will keep you updated here on Geekdom 101. As always, I will continue to strive to not only better my content and better my impact on the community, but also spread truth, as I've always tried to do from day one. And I hope that other content creators agree, and I think most of them will. So that is all the information presented to you. Thank you guys so much, and I hope you have a great day.